Joe Mazzulla has finally given the clearest sign yet of what the Boston Celtics starting lineup might look like when the regular season tips off. After a dramatic preseason finale against Toronto, the head coach's words carried a weight that fans could feel. Because when Mazzulla spoke about Neemias Queta, it didn't sound like just another post-game compliment. It sounded like a decision. Before we dive into what this means for Boston's future and how it could reshape the team's identity, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that hype button to stay on top of every Boston Celtics news update. Mazzulla has spent the entire preseason refusing to reveal his cards, guarding lineup information like a playoff secret. But after Queta's breakout performance in Wednesday's last-second win over the Raptors, the tone shifted. Queta posted 8 points, 12 rebounds, and 4 blocks in only 21 minutes, showing a level of intensity and confidence that stood out on both ends of the floor. The coach's comments afterward felt less like evaluation and more like confirmation. "This is what you've worked your whole life for," Mazzulla told him. "A chance to start for the Boston Celtics." That's a powerful statement coming from a coach who has been relentless about competition and accountability. Especially when we remember that Queta started last season buried behind Porzingis, Horford, and Kornet. But something changed this week. Mazzulla noted that during practice on Tuesday and in the game Wednesday night, Queta finally showed what he's capable of. His energy on the glass, his defensive timing, even his passing, everything seemed to click. And for a team that just restructured its entire rotation around size and defensive identity, that matters. Boston's frontcourt picture is suddenly crowded yet fragile. Chris Boucher, Luka Garza, and Xavier Tillman are all fighting for minutes, each offering different strengths. Boucher was the only Celtic to start all 4 preseason games, while Tillman saved the team with the game-winning floater that sealed the victory over Toronto. But even in that chaos, Mazzulla's words made one thing sound clear. The Celtics may have found their new starting center, and his name might just be Neemias Queta. So now the question becomes, is this a temporary experiment or the beginning of a new chapter in Boston's system? Can Queta truly handle the pressure of starting beside stars like Jason Tatum and Jalen Brown, night after night, under championship expectations? The preseason gave us a glimpse, but the real test begins soon. And if Mazzulla is right, the Celtics may have just discovered their most important piece yet. The Boston Celtics have officially dropped a bombshell just days before the start of the new NBA season. In a move that caught many by surprise, the franchise has decided to waive Wendell Moore Jr., Kendall Brown, and Jalen Bridges. 3 young players, full of potential, now find themselves on the outside looking in. This decision reshapes Boston's depth chart and raises serious questions about what the team's real strategy is heading into the regular season. Before we break down the reasons and what this could mean for the Celtics rotation, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that hype button so you don't miss any breaking Boston Celtics news. Boston's timing couldn't be more strategic. Every NBA team faces a deadline to trim its roster from 21 to the 15-player regular season limit, but the Celtics did it in a way that sends a clear message. They're not leaving any room for uncertainty. The team is doubling down on experience, chemistry, and reliability. And when you look closely, this move says as much about the players who stayed as it does about those who didn't. Wendell Moore Jr. came into the league with expectations that many thought would guarantee him a long-term NBA spot. A former Duke Blue Devil, selected with the 26th overall pick in the 2022 NBA Draft, Moore had the reputation of a polished, high-IQ player who could defend and create. Yet, through multiple stops and uneven performances, he never found consistency. His stint in Boston's camp showed flashes, but flashes aren't enough when you're chasing a championship. Kendall Brown and Jalen Bridges, both former Baylor standouts, face their own uphill climb. Brown, taken 48th overall in 2022, has all the athletic tools but still lacks the refined skills that translate at the NBA level. Bridges, who went undrafted last year and signed a 2-way deal with the Phoenix Suns, has shooting potential but struggled to separate himself in camp. Boston's decision to waive both players reinforces how brutally competitive those final roster spots truly are. Still, this isn't necessarily goodbye. The Celtics front office knows the value of development. All 3 players are expected to stay within the organization through the main G League affiliate, where they can sharpen their games, stay in rhythm, and remain under the team's watchful eye. It's a smart move from Brad Stevens' perspective, keeping future options open while maintaining flexibility. But let's be clear. Waiving 3 prospects this late in October isn't just about cutting numbers. It's a statement about urgency. The Celtics aren't experimenting this year. They're chasing a title, and every spot on the roster must serve that mission. Veteran presence and on-court reliability are clearly being prioritized over potential. That mindset tells you everything about how serious this season's run will be. Now the real question is, what does this mean for Boston's depth moving forward? Are the Celtics quietly preparing another move to fill that final roster spot with a proven veteran presence? Or is this a sign that Joe Mazzulla and Brad Stevens are fully confident in the core they already have? One thing is certain. This wasn't a routine roster adjustment. It was a calculated decision made by a team that refuses to settle for anything less than a championship. The Boston Celtics just made a move that could quietly reshape the bottom of their roster before the season even begins. After waiving RJ Jr., the team has officially signed Ron Harper Jr. to a 2-way NBA contract. On the surface, it looks like a routine transaction. But when you look deeper, this signing speaks volumes about how Joe Mazzulla and Brad Stevens are approaching the upcoming year. Because Ron Harper Jr. is not just another preseason player trying to survive. He's a name that could matter more than most fans realize. Stay with me until the end, and before we dive in, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that hype button so you don't miss any Boston Celtics news updates this season. Boston's preseason wrapped up with a 110-108 win over the Toronto Raptors, but the real story began after the final buzzer. RJ Jr., who arrived via trade from the Utah Jazz earlier this offseason, was let go to create flexibility. In his place, the Celtics made what looks like a calculated decision, signing Ron Harper Jr., a versatile forward known for his basketball IQ, defensive effort, and ability to knock down shots from deep. According to reports from ESPN's Shams Charania, Harper earned this opportunity after a strong preseason. The 24-year-old forward averaged 4.3 points per game while shooting 42.9% from three-point range in just over 10 minutes per appearance. Those numbers might not jump off the page, but for a player fighting for a roster spot, efficiency and consistency are exactly what the Celtics value most. And here's where it gets interesting. This isn't Harper's first time in green. Last season, he played 4 games for the Maine Celtics, averaging 22.8 points per game. He later signed a 2-way deal with the Detroit Pistons in January before returning to Boston in September. That familiarity with the system and culture might be the real reason he earned this new contract. It's a sign that the front office sees something in him beyond the stat sheet. Boston's decision also reveals a lot about their mindset heading into the regular season. The team is clearly focused on depth and adaptability. They've built a star-heavy starting lineup with Jason Tatum, Jalen Brown, and Kristaps Porzingis, but they're now ensuring the bench can hold its ground with smart, reliable contributors who understand their roles. Harper fits that profile perfectly. He doesn't need volume to make an impact, he just needs minutes to prove his value. For Joe Mazzulla, this move provides an intriguing developmental piece who can fill multiple roles. For Brad Stevens, it's a low-risk, high-upside signing that keeps the team flexible. A 2-way contract allows Harper to split time between Boston and the G League affiliate, which means he'll have the chance to stay sharp while remaining one call away from a main roster. But there's a deeper layer to this decision. Every roster move Boston makes now has to be viewed through the lens of a championship chase. This team isn't adding players for the sake of it. They're building a structure where every piece, no matter how small, contributes to winning. Harper's blend of shooting, defense, and basketball intelligence could quietly become a valuable insurance policy as the season progresses. So here's the real question. Could Ron Harper Jr. end up being more than a developmental player? Could this quiet signing become the hidden move that pays off when the Celtics need depth during the long grind of the season? One thing is certain. Boston just made a subtle, strategic bet on a player who knows how to fight for his place. And as every Celtics fan knows, those are the kinds of players who often make the biggest difference when it matters most. If you believe this was a smart move by the front office, hit that like button, subscribe right now, and click the hype button so you don't miss a single Boston Celtics news update as the regular season begins.